I want to go ahead and get into, our time off. Our time off, like the reason why we were gone. I know for me, it was difficult because we were still potting. So my wife's brother passed away. My wife's brother Josh passed away in July of 2021. And that was a very, very big loss for us. He was a big piece of the family. He was loved by a lot of people. And I remember after that happened, we still came back and we did, I want to say like maybe 6 or 7 episodes like after that, I think. And that was very, very difficult for me to do.
Yeah.
But I think that was kind of one of those moments where it was like just me trying to stay strong and also learn that when something like that happens, you have to like, I don't want to say bounce back, but you kind of, because there is no like time limit on grief or anything like that. But I think, I just learned how to kind of, compartmentalize and, still just continue to, keep going because you have to keep going. Unfortunately, when people pass, when things happen, when we go through things in life, life, it goes on, like it continues to go, doesn't stop. So, he passed and we stopped recording, and in that time period it was just me trying to be the best supportive husband that I could possibly be. That was what was most important to me at that time. I didn't really care about the podcast, and look, she's calling me right now. I didn't really care about the podcast at that time. Well, I don't want to say that I didn't care about it. It just wasn't a priority.
It just wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't the most important thing. Yeah,
it wasn't.
Because even though we love the podcast, there was certain things that was more priority than the podcast. So that's what I'll say. We kind of needed the break that we had because it was.
Yeah, I definitely will say the break was definitely needed. It was needed to get. I feel like it was needed to get both of our minds right because your thing didn't happen until a little bit later on.
Yeah.
But for me, it was just trying to maneuver and trying to figure out how to live life with such a big, drastic change. I lost my dad when I was 19, but I didn't really like, I was too young. Like I didn't really know, how to process. I wasn't really, I feel like now, like going to therapy, like I understand my emotions. I understand my emotions way more than what I did before. So I started going to therapy in February of last year. And, just started to unpack a lot of things. Learned a lot. I've learned a lot. And in going to therapy, it taught me how to be like, like how to support, how to be support, and how to support someone through grief. I feel like both me and Raquel were grieving because I lost someone too. We both lost somebody, but that was her brother. Like that was her brother. I don't have like a full, like I have a half brother, but I don't, that's another story for another time. So I'll never really know like what that feels like. I'll never know what that feels like. So that was it. Like it was me just putting the podcast and all these, outsource things to the side and just being like, what, right now during this time, I need to be the best me and man that I can be for, the family, for the wife, for everybody that was around me at the time that was affected by the loss of her brother.
Yeah.
And it's still a thing. Like it's still like an open wound. Like it still feels like it just happened yesterday, Yep. And so this is something that's I'm still working through it. Like Raquel is still working through it. Both of us are still working through it. Both of us go to therapy. And we ended up meeting some cool people, during that time period. I think what helped us get back in the mindset of wanting to do the pod again was going to that podcasting event.
Absolutely.
We went to the podcasting event. And I think I don't want to get the name wrong. I think it was PBR in podcasting, I think. I can't remember the exact name of the event, but
Yeah.
It was thrown by Robin, who is the host of the Corks and Cowtown podcast in Fort Worth. She threw the event, and I don't know if she does it, but I know they throw like events yearly. They do it yearly.
We got to go to another one.
Yeah, we definitely got to go to another. A lot of cool people, man. We met a lot of
people,
a lot of cool people.
Yes, sir.
So that event happened. That was in when was that? That was in like. Was that June of 2022? That was like June of last year?
Around there, or later in the year. It's kind of, man, time been blending together.
I know it was earlier than July because we did our first episode with Sam in July of last year.
Yeah.
So it had to be like, I want to say maybe June of 2022, I think.
Yeah.
But we went to the podcast event. We met Sam Esquivel at the Failed Podcast. We met him there. He was just kind of like chilling on his own by himself, and I think me and you were just like, let's go talk to him. Like he looks like he's got something, even though he's by himself. He looks like he looks interesting. So we went, we sat down, we talked. He kind of like did a small little interview with us. He was like showing us like some of the equipment that he had. This is he was the first person that really like introduced me to like all of this tech stuff. Like I didn't.
This is new to me. You know what I mean? Like this was he was the beginning of all of that stuff for us. So
yeah, for sure. So I definitely want to shout out to him because
absolutely,
that meeting him was 100% a blessing. Like I feel like he was placed there for a reason. Yeah. And he is a part of our journey. He's going to continue to be a part of our journey. So shout out to Sam Escobar at the Failed Podcast. Yeah. That is our OG. We've learned a lot from him.
Yep.
And he's been like an essential part of our podcasting journey while we were on break. We've done a lot of content with him. He's shown us the ropes. And just from doing stuff with him, like I feel like even when we did our verses on Instagram Live, or how we started doing like live album reviews and stuff like that, like all of that came from him.
Yep.
And what I mean by that is just us sitting with him and seeing him be creative. It made us want to go be creative.
It's inspiring. You know, being inspired constantly. And we started doing those collab episodes, and I felt like that just kept the momentum. Like it didn't have like the podcast completely die. It just kind of kept the momentum with us. It kept the fire still going, with the TFP and the TNT podcast collab episodes. So it was like, I felt like we needed those to kind of like re-energize us. Like at least for me.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, it gave us a boost, and man, we appreciate Sam so much, man. It was we gonna keep those collab episodes going for sure, outside of ours, of course.
For sure.
But yeah, man, and then on my side, my mother passed, so it was, man, that within itself is that's a lot. You know what I'm saying? I'm still dealing with it, haven't done any therapy, but that's going to probably be a big thing in 2024 as far as my growth. Like I've grown a lot, but losing somebody like your mom is like, you can't even describe.
I could never imagine.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, I could never even imagine. Describe. That's why I have to ask, like, what are you doing to keep yourself, like just in a good headspace?
I mean, honestly, it's just prayer, staying closer to God, my circle, my friends, my tribe, y'all, really family and friends is what's pushed me through, and no one bigger than God, of course. Like when they say God is a comforter, he's a healer, he's all of that. It's like he's the most, like, the best thing out of anything that can keep you going. So really God, and it's just like realizing that he can be everything you need in a time like that, you know what I'm saying? So it's a daily battle though, you know what I mean? Like it's just, you just think about, your mom is your mom.
Yeah,
it's like you can't even explain like what that feels like. And what I realized, because I guess this is a little me being a little bit transparent. So I'm not really a crier like that. So like
Me either.
when my mom like died, when she passed or whatever, like I didn't cry until like the actual like day of the funeral. Like that was the day I actually cried. And I started to realize, or I was wondering, I was like, dang, is me not crying like a trauma response? But I just realized, like, and it might be, and I was like, that might be something I need to work through, like when I, eventually go to therapy and all of that. But I think it's just certain things, just like certain people cry when it comes, like whenever they cry or whatever. So, but no, it's definitely been like, I just been thankful for the people I've had in my corner since my mom passed. Like you, of course, one of my biggest people, my brother Shaq, just our circle, my best friend, one of my other best friends, Alicia, and just our whole circle, Justin, everybody. Yeah. Ari, Raquel, everybody, you know what I mean? Just the whole circle, man. Like, and even my circles outside the circles and the circles that overlap into each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I just appreciate my circle for being there. You know what I mean? Like, and even my time alone, like, I just appreciate just God. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, it's not easy. It's just a day to day. Some days you good, some days it just hit you. But you just got to keep fighting, man. And it's not a get over type of death. It's just as time goes, you get stronger as time goes on. So,
you definitely get stronger, and I don't think it's no such thing as getting over.
Yeah, you don't get over a death of your mom. There's no of a parent.
Yeah,
either parent.
I mean, I think you don't get over it. Depending on what kind of person you are, you don't get over a death of anyone. I don't think anybody. I don't think Raquel is ever going to get over the fact that her brother's not here anymore.
Anybody that you're super close to, that you love, and just anybody like that you just deeply love, I don't think you'll ever get over. Yeah, and it's just it's as time goes, you just get stronger.